Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to hop into our final series of the night. It is going to be none other than Money Snow facing off against Average Alex, aka Neeb and JonSnow.
Average Alex, yeah.
Average Alex, something
You're
you know
talking
what
about that.
he told me to call him Average Alex. Also, Standard Sunderhaft. That's another name he likes to go by. It's gonna be
Okay.
a really cool PVZ though, as I think these guys again, like these are two of the top North American StarCraft 2 players right now.
Yeah. Very excited to see how this one goes. It's going to be Mech Depot for that first map as we do spawn here in the top right-hand corner. That guy, Average Alex, if you want to call him it, but his in-game name is Ting Neeb.
And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. Give it up for JonSnow, who is making his first appearance at Kings of the North. Neeb, on the other hand, did make an appearance at Kings of the North too, but unfortunately for him, fell in the finals, the grand finals, to Masa.
Wow. Yep.
Very
Masa.
close 3-4 series.
Yeah, Masa in Toronto is just, it's a different player. But I mean, I would say that before. I think nowadays, even he's just solid, like all around.
It's Masa
Something
on
activated.
Earth now.
Masa on Earth, yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, we are going to be starting it off here, guys. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series. Both of these players did win their games as they are now facing each other to taint that record of the other. I believe both of them did. No, Neeb ended up going 2-1 to
Neeb
Puck.
lost one game to Puck in a really awesome PvP.
Yep. So definitely, that was a great series as well. If you guys have the chance to check it out, you probably know what we mean. Really fun time seeing those PvPs. But here we are, though.
PvP is really good too. So it goes to show you what good form Puck is in right now.
Yeah. Right. Like when you think of Neeb, you think of him being like leagues ahead. But yeah, Puck definitely put up a good fight, especially that game 1 where he was able to take Neeb out. But Neeb in Neeb fashion was able to recover. And yeah. But not without a dent in that armor of his. Being one of the only players to drop a map, man. Average Alex, man. Unbelievable.
Average Alex, pretty exceptional.
Exceptionally average.
Exceptionally average, but well, he's gonna find that first Overlord with the very quick Stalker opening, not going for the traditional Adept opening that a lot of Protoss players tend to favor. This is gonna catch JonSnow a bit off guard. He's gonna take a lot of damage on this Overlord. Actually, that Overlord is that's unbelievably dead.
Yep, and that is gonna supply block. Oh yeah, that supply blocks JonSnow. Not the hugest deal, but it sucks because you usually want to use that Overlord to check the gas of the Protoss player. Even though nowadays it feels like most Protoss are going to get that gas regardless of what they go for. But if they don't have it, then you can expect there to be some kind of crazy 8-get Adept, something like that. Especially with a Stalker coming out first. You know that usually something wants to be hidden by the Protoss player. And you usually expect it to be DTs, but no, it's actually going to be a Stargate opener.
Overlord speed is going to come out, so eventually JonSnow should be able to get the scout out on exactly what Neeb is up to with the Stargate opening coming out. But at the same time, this is still going to be a very annoying thing for JonSnow to deal with. He doesn't necessarily know just yet whether this is going to lead into triple Stargate, mass Oracle production, if it's going to lead into just a lot of gateways being thrown down and adding on a Twilight Council, pretty old school style of a PvZ. Like, he doesn't know what he's facing off against.
No, but I don't believe he was looking at the Oracle when it left, because it's already reaching the bases of JonSnow, and he's just now starting to put down the Spore Crawlers. Now, Neeb probably expecting them to already be done, because he's stuck around by the Queen.
Gets 3 kills, has to back out of there. Honestly, in one of those kills is Larva, I believe.
Yeah,
kills 1 Larva, 1 Drone, and 1 Ling. So
1-1-1 Protoss build. There you go.
That's what the 1-1-1 stands for, right?
Yep.
But JonSnow actually making a lot of Lings right now around the time that these Oracles are popping in. This actually really is a JonSnow maneuver on 38 drones, making a ton of Lings. getting ready to either deal with the depth harassment or just move across the map and try and put some pressure on that third. Pull the oracles back in that way as well.
Yeah, he dropped down an Evo chamber as well. Oh, Neeb loses one of those oracles, but JonSnow did drop down an Evo chamber, and he already has overload speed. So even though it is a Stargate opener, you still can get a link drop done just to pull the oracle back. But usually you would expect the Phoenix to come out after, but it was a Void Ray. And 2 additional Stargates are coming out from Neeb here.
Okay, but the Ling's trying to get us full surround on these Adepts, and the Pylon, the Mothership Core, is nowhere to be seen on the map right now.
My God.
It's just starting right now, so these Lings can start to take out these Adepts, even with pretty good positioning. They're all going to end up falling. The Pylon's going to be the next target, and soon afterwards, that Mothership Core is not really going to be able to do a whole lot. An Oracle has to come all the way back home to try and take out these Lings.
Wow, incredibly greedy play out of Neeb, delaying the Mothership Core until after both of the Stargates were coming out. So he takes a bit of some drone losses, or rather probe losses, and also lost the Pylon and 2 Adepts.
I think one of the big things is also he loses a bit of that time with the Oracles harassing and putting on pressure, keeping JonSnow from being too greedy in terms of making a lot more units and getting up those Hydras, because now he has 9 Hydras coming out, and the Oracle's already a little bit low on energy. He can't really pick them off as they're coming out.
No, not yet. He's going to probably try that when he has a huge amount of them, but by that time, +1's going to be done for JonSnow, and he's also going to have enough Hydras where, unless the Oracles are in a huge number, you're just not going to be able to take out those Hydras. It's just not going to happen. Oh, man. Well, then. How do you think this works out? JonSnow doesn't have the greatest drone count right now, but he's going for the Mass Hydra style, which is really, really good against Oracles if they don't have any support on the ground.
Why does JonSnow have a drop overlord? Okay, he is finally sending it up and around the corner. He was hanging around at home with his drop overlord. I'm like, is he keeping that so he can pick up the queens in case they get low versus the oracles? That's actually, that's like a next level meta strategy. It's like, oh, you know what? There's like 15 oracles. Guess what? I'm gonna keep 10 to 15 drop overlords over my Hydra so I can pick them up if you start turning on the pulsar beam. Boom.
That wouldn't even have been a horrible idea to get the queens from his base to attack with this Hydra force. Neeb is getting hit at a vulnerable point. Another Oracle goes down. Until charge is done.
Matters a lot. These Oracles
Who's going to lose another one?
Second Oracle. No, not getting target fire down. JonSnow's busy taking out those rocks, but in the main base, 8 Lings about to be dropped.
Yeah, this is really good out of JonSnow. The Pylons are here, though, so they're going to buy enough time for hopefully charge to come out from Neeb. But JonSnow is hitting at a perfect time where there's not enough oracles in the sky just yet.
Artosis Pylon on those 3 Stargates. All of them are going to get depowered over here. That's going to shut down a majority of the production for Neeb. He's planting down a couple more pylons, but still, that's a lot of time. He's not going to have reinforcements coming in as all of his oracles are starting to fall to the Hydras. But is there enough over here for JonSnow? It doesn't look like it.
No, there was enough oracles. So, wow, JonSnow going to get pushed back. But no more oracles can be made out of Neeb until that pylon does finish, and I think it just did. So that was really good for Neeb because he's the one with the heavy economy lead. I think JonSnow was hoping to kill because he hasn't been making any more drones.
Can JonSnow just follow this up with another big attack? Because think about it, even if there aren't that many units in here for JonSnow, all of the photon overcharge has been used. All of the Oracle energy has been used. The round of production for the next couple of Oracles coming out has been delayed because those pylons were depowered. This is the time for JonSnow to get something done.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be charge lot that don't have any +1 armor, or no, they don't have +1 attack. So it is going to be the armor upgrade that they have versus attack upgrades here from these Hydras. And until those Oracles get their energy, oh man, I think the longer this goes, it's better for Neeb, obviously, but geez, it's still a scary position to be in if you're the Protoss.
Yeah, he also reset the Oracle count, which is really nice. The Protoss wants to get to an absurd number of them, where it's just almost impossible for the Zerg to contest with. But, some of these Oracles already falling. The Hydras started stepping back outside the range of that Photon Overcharge, but realizing there's just not enough of them, start getting picked off by these Oracles, retreating to some of the reinforcements before you can start to take a fight. But the Oracles just barely have enough energy to actually start picking off these Hydras.
Yep, and they're going to push it all the way back. The charge lot's forcing those Hydras to push on back. And now JonSnow's going to be on the back foot. Doesn't really have an answer for the charge lots. I don't think he invested into the Veiling Nest. Didn't invest into any other upgrades either. So Yeah, JonSnow just gonna try to take a fourth and then hope that he can come back economically. But Neeb took a fourth base.
He took a fourth 4 minutes ago
Oh
almost
wow!
at this point. So
Yeah,
he just hasn't been worried about saturating it, but he's only been sitting on 55 workers. This is not exactly a stellar drone count to be facing off against a Protoss player who's getting up their fourth base. Granted for the second time, but also leading up almost 50 supply, has a massive charge lot army, is looking to close out this game.
Oh yeah, with 1-1 gonna be finishing here. JonSnow just now starting +2. I just don't think JonSnow can do it without Banelings. And even if he did have Banelings, it still would be kind of a difficult hold. So it's up to Neeb. Is he gonna just pounce on this, or is he just gonna focus on his economic lead, start to transition to like getting Storm out, which would be like the nail in the coffin, I would say. I think he has a timing here where he can hit before JonSnow is really ready, because he's trying to drone, but he also needs to survive. So if he threatens, then that's always going to be a good thing for him. Never has to commit until he feels like he has to. And it looks like he's going for it.
This is a bit of a weird engagement, but the Oracle DPS is just a little bit too much.
Oh my god.
Shreds through the Hydras. The Zealots on the ground take the damage, and GG gets called. Neeb takes game number 1.
Wow.
Well
Yeah,
done.
kind of.
Well done.
Just well done. Can't really say anything else aside from that. Very, very scary points in that game for me, but I think getting away without that mothership core and then getting all of those oracles out, not really getting that much done with them in the early game, made me a bit worried. But I don't know. Neeb does what Neeb does best, and that's win.
Yeah, I think that there was that very, very narrow window where JonSnow theoretically could have gotten a little bit more done right when those next round of oracles were kind of being delayed from coming out. But I think he got a cancel on the 4th.
Yep.
And he kept trying to push in 2 more of those pylons. And I do wonder if maybe pushing into the 3rd or something would have been more beneficial. If there was another opportunity somewhere else, if he should have just backed up and maybe even droned up his 4th and start transitioning out into something else, get up against Festers or something. But at the end of the day, I do feel like it came down to like that moment right there. And well, Neeb was able to defend and make it work.
Yeah. And I think he might have been afraid of going into late game with Neeb, who loves carriers as well. So if you're not equipped to deal with the impending carriers, then it's like, I might as well try to kill him. But Neeb is really good at not dying in many situations there. But I think, you know, players like JonSnow have that capability of finding that weak spot. It just was a little, like, you know, a little bit too late maybe, or well executed on the defense. And I don't know. I really like that Ling drop. Like, I don't know.
The Ling drop.
JonSnow really did some really good things, I must say.
Yeah, we'll see if we can turn it around as we hop into game number 2 on Ascension to Ayers. Spawn down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We have the yellow Protoss player representing Ting. Give it up for Neeb.
And in the top left-hand corner, the red Zerg player from Storm Gaming. It is JonSnow, another King of the North.
Yeah, the uncrowned King of the North.
Jeez. Well, it is in the off season now, so yeah, he's gonna have to relinquish that unless he can take this game here. He's gonna want to get those points on the board. He already is up, I think, 2-0. Not in the series, by the way, but like from his previous ones last week. Neeb is the one that did lose his series 2-1. So hey, if he was able to beat Neeb here, he would have an overall better score than Neeb would. So
yeah, which would be a pretty good place to be, honestly. If you're ahead of Neeb, like it's currently the dream, I think, right now. But okay. So last game, Neeb opened up with the Stargate opening, going to the triple Stargate, something that's been pretty common. Do you feel like there's a lot of Protoss players that are going for other styles these days, or is it pretty much just exclusively the triple Stargate?
I mean, it's very popular now, but I mean, even the same styles that we've been seeing before, if you feel like you're better than your Zerg opponent, still going for that ground-based army, you know, with the Twilight and getting charge lots with Immortals and Archons can still be well. But I don't know, if you feel like the player that you're playing against is on your level, a lot of Protoss will struggle with Lingbane Hydra. It's just really, really difficult composition to deal with. And when it's not a map like Abyssal Reef where you can kind of chill back and get these nice chokes, I don't know. I still think that Neeb would go for what he thinks is going to be best for him to win, catch someone like JonSnow off guard.
That is basically the best way to describe Neeb's playstyle too. He's not one of those players like No Regret or some, Puck, who will have a particular playstyle that they'll just kind of stick to because they think like, oh, this is my style. Neeb is sort of that ambiguously formed, like not even ditto. I don't even think that's the right word for it. Like,
what's that word? Yeah, amorphous.
Like amorphous kind of thing where he just says, well, this is the current meta of what's good. So I'm going to do the current meta of what's good because I'm the best player. So I'm going to just play like the best player. I don't need to resort
it's a
to
good
random weird things.
Yeah, but it's also good like in the sense of being able to have so many styles under your belt. So whoever you're playing against can't just predict it either. And if you're good at all of them, then it's like, how do you play against somebody like that, especially when you're really good at defenses as well?
It's the peely philosophy on life.
Yeah.
If I don't know what I'm going to do as I move into the game, they don't know what I'm going to do when we're in it.
Exactly. But what are we seeing here, Fear Dragon? A Robo coming out with 3 gateways in the main, but the third base is being taken, so it is going to be a 5-gate Adept opener, but he's taking the third, so it's just kind of like that very standard macro style without even... well, what is he getting from the... No, there isn't even a Twilight.
There isn't a Twilight. This is actually something very different than what I've pretty much ever seen, because not only is the Robo at the third base, which is kind of weird positioning for it, but yeah, like you said, there's no Twilight Council, so there's no charge going to be coming out, no Resonating Glaives, and 5 gateways. You just one more gateway than you usually end up seeing. I wonder if this is just because he wants to put on a bit more aggression, or if he's actually just going to play a bit more passive.
But with all these sentries that he's warping in, it looks like he really wants to take it into the macro game with JonSnow. He's kind of signaling at John saying, hey, come at me, bro, basically.
I think it may end up being the opposite. He's going to go for a big Immortal Sentry push.
Whoa.
And double Forge behind this? I don't think I've actually seen this anytime recently. Like, this looks a lot like the old school style of, let's go for the Immortal Sentry push, and behind this we'll add on some gateways and get up double Forge for double upgrades and really catch my opponent off guard. But this Link counterattack might be able to get some damage done. The Mothership Core was made a lot earlier this game, but it's on the inside of the map.
It's with the army. Yeah, there's no War Prism with this push from Neeb, so that's what made me wonder what exactly his goal was with it. And it looks like he just wants to try to trade out and then recall as soon as he feels like he's going to take too much damage. And he needs to be very careful. But then he gets it out in time.
Yeah, and he's been able to hold off against the Ling aggression. He trades out and versus the Banelings, forces out a bunch of Lings. You can see JonSnow sitting on 47 workers, which is probably the most telling thing about that push-in. It was actually pretty low investment for Neeb to go for. He uses energy on the Mothership Core and the Sentries, loses a few Zealots, which are a pure mineral investment.
Yep.
Gets up double Forges, gets up some Immortals, gets up his third base safely, and gets up 65 workers.
Really good play out of Neeb. It's like, yeah, very old school, all right, I'm pushing out, time to make units, Zerg player. And you see this Zerg and JonSnow trying to catch up in economy, but also trying to get something done with the units that he was forced to make. And Neeb is just cruising, man. He's getting charged, he's getting +1/+1. Now the War Prism's coming out, and he's even adding on a Templar Archive to add either Storm or Archons, or hey, he could add both of them if he really wants to.
Yeah, the thing... Okay, well, we got Swarm Host coming out right now. This is something that we've seen a few times in the matchup, but usually it's in a very, very different context than this. What do you think about this tempo?
Yo, I mean, against this style, I don't know. I guess he's just going to try to get aggressive, use a Swarm Host to try to just poke at the army. Sometimes if it's like a Blink Stalker style, or I don't know, like something that's very easily killed by Lings, you can use a Swarm Host and then trap the Protoss army with the Lings if you want to do it that way. But I don't know, with a lot of Zealots and What else does he
Ooh.
have? I guess, yeah, Zealots are really the main thing that are going to be good against
Oh man, I
Lings.
think the Warp Prism may have seen some of the Swarmos, and oh my god, a massive Zealot warping over here. Remember, these are +1 Zealots, so even if they get fully surrounded, they are gonna just shred through these Zerglings, especially with charge finished up.
Wow.
Oh my god, look at these guys.
They're getting so much value now, and he's even going to be able to take out some of the Banelings, but JonSnow pulls back just in time. Queen might get taken out, but nope.
Oh.
Now the Banelings all getting used on those Zealots, and another warping is going to happen here.
Actually, Warping on the
Swarmhosts are going to
low
catch the Templar on the right side, though, by the third. So close.
Storm is actually finished up, so he could potentially start storming to take them out before they get too close, and he's going to storm 2 of these Locusts. Gets one of them, but the rest of the Locusts just going after the Photon Cannon. Not a whole lot of value. I think.
But in the middle of the map, the Swarmhosts, they got caught by those Zealots that were warped in by Neeb. Oh my god, that sucks. That's all I gotta say.
And there's a massive Zealot warping on the south side, ready to move into that 4th base. Gonna catch the Queen, gonna catch a couple of the drones. There's a lot of Lings over here, but once again, these Lings are gonna be dealing with +1 weapon Zealots who do actually do quite a bit of damage, but Baneling's able to clean those up. More Zealots warped in on the north side.
Yeah, this is just not gonna stop. Neeb is ruthless right now. Warping in Zealots. He's taking the 4th base, but JonSnow dropped some Banes, it looked like, or maybe it was some Lings. Yep, he got a lot of worker kills there, man.
Oh my god, 23 worker kills. That is really, really solid damage.
Yeah, not bad at all. But does JonSnow have what it takes at home in order to deal with the army of Neeb coming? It doesn't look that scary, but it's mainly Storm.
Oh, I don't like that. Storm actually triggers the Immortal Hardened Shield on both of his Immortals, or sorry, one of them, and softens up the rest of this army. He's going to actually end up backing out of there because he's got also some more Zealots inside the main base trying to get some damage done. Man, these double War Prisms have been
everywhere.
so effective.
It's so sick, and it's only Zealots that he's losing, but after losing all of those workers, I thought that I would look at Neeb's worker count, and it was going to be at like 40, but he's at 65 still.
Oh, going to be able to take out this 4th base. Now some Lings do come in to reinforce, but there are Zealots over by the main base, ready to move in. The rest of the army with those Immortals, the Sentries, the High Templar are ready to push in at a moment's notice. And JonSnow with Swarmhosts, they are not a great defensive unit.
No, they're really not. He wants to be on the other side of the map, getting some harassment done or catching the army without a way to retreat. But if you're defending with them, then, I mean, they're going to have these kind of lackluster Locust waves that can just be ran away from. Unless he's not paying attention.
Right-clicks down 1 sentry, but trades out, I think, 5 or 6 active Swarmhost Locusts for that. I don't know if that was worth it, but okay. A lot of Banelings blowing up on these Archons. Now the Locust able to get some good damage done, but the Storm does push these Locusts back.
And now those Swarmhosts are pretty useless. JonSnow has been defending in the main because of the constant Zealot harass. And now, I mean, how many? Yeah, look, it's 16 Swarmhosts, and they cannot do anything.
They're about as useless as Changelings right now until the next round of Locusts come out. But guess what? Those Locusts are not coming out anytime soon. As finally some of them come out. But at this point, he's already taken a lot of damage. These drones are trying to retreat over down to the 4th base. But the 3rd base has been ravaged. The Archons are pushing in. And guess what? There's more than enough space for Neeb to just retreat out.
Yep. He doesn't have to stick around. And once those Locusts have expired, so will JonSnow's chance of winning the series. And Neeb takes a 2-0 against a very cool style out of JonSnow, but damn, Neeb was kind of ruthless with the double Warp Prism Zealot harass. It was insane.
That is actually like a build that I legitimately would point to and say, hey, look, if you are an aspiring Protoss player out there, you're in Diamond League or something like that, maybe Masters League, just trying to make your way up, that's actually a great build to copy, because what is really cool about it is that the opening allows you, with the Immortal Sentry push in the Mothership Core there, if you're very on point with the defense, if you can actually out-micro your opponent, you can get ahead in the game by just taking slightly more cost-efficient trades. You force out a lot of units, and then you just out-multitask your opponent. It's such a sick style. I absolutely love it. Really, really cool play out of Neeb. And not something that I feel like you see that often in this day and age of PvZ.
Yeah, it was cool because they both did something that was a little out of the ordinary. Even though if you look at the build order of Neeb, it looked pretty quote-unquote ordinary, but the only reason why is because we haven't seen it like that often, at least in the meta. Usually see some kind of aggression. Haven't seen Protoss players just going for very, very passive play until the third base is already up and running like that. So it was
Right.
cool. It was a nice little change of pace, and I think JonSnow was anticipating playing against the Protoss style that he's always used to playing against.
Yeah, exactly. The more typical style. But that does it for our broadcast today, ladies and gentlemen, as we end up having 3-2-0s, but still a lot of really cool games. Scarlet versus Semper ends up being a very, very cool series, even if one of the games is a little bit more one side. Second game ending up being like a 27-minute back and forth, crazy, crazy mech versus
Uh-huh.
Stormos game. Neeb versus JonSnow. Well, JonSnow, I feel like Neeb was in pretty good control for most of the series. I
Yeah.
think JonSnow put up a pretty damn good fight.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
Jim Rising versus Buster also pretty fun.
I know that was pretty fun too. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy the broadcast today. I am Tempo, joined by Fear Dragon, observed by Joe, and my boy Joe Laguitas, the
Look,
man, the myth, the legend, Flogodice, as sorry,
Plagicide,
Plus
as I like
aside,
to say.
nobody. Yeah, but yeah, definitely a huge shout out to him for doing the production as well, and ES Champ for putting this on, and our wonderful sponsors, cheersforgaming.com, where you can go and get one of these chairs that me and Fair Dragon are sitting in, and using the code ESChamp, you can get a $30, man,
Mm-hmm.
off of your purchase, if you do choose to do so. And what about our other awesome sponsors that we do have, though, Fair?
Well, we got, of course, Asus ROG. If you guys are interested in checking them out, they sell all kinds of PC hardware. And that's actually one of the cool things about them is that whether it's, I need more memory or I need like a laptop, I need whatever kind of things, Asus ROG sells all sorts of stuff. So be sure to check them out and let them know that we sent you and let them know that you appreciate that fact that they are investing into North American and local esports events. But of course, our final shout out goes to the Matcherino page. If you guys just want straight up value while contributing directly to the prize pool and everything else, Matcherino is the way to do it. As if you contribute to that prize pool, you can not only help us reach stretch goals to increase the production value at the event, create a awesome little video tournaments and highlights, basically create more content. You can literally just buy content for yourself by allowing ES Champ to run this kind of contest that highlights the
Mhm.
players, as well as even just contributing toward getting a premier commentator or another commentator for the actual event itself, Kings of the North. And
Yep.
that's one of the great ways to do it. And you can get some value for yourself with t-shirts, mouse pads, a cool little coin, and all kinds
Mhm.
of cool stuff.
Indeed. So yeah, congratulations to our winners today, and hopefully we'll see you again. I believe tomorrow
Hmm.
we'll have another broadcast around the same time, 8:30
Oh,
Eastern.
and good matches
Uh,
tomorrow too, man. If today wasn't looking awesome enough with like Scarlet Semper and
yeah.
JonSnow, Neeb, and whatnot, Masa versus Peely Peely tomorrow, Puck
Oh man.
versus Suppy tomorrow,
Okay.
and Jig versus BioIce. These are three really evenly skilled matches, I think.
Yeah, Puck versus Suppy, like that like, brings me back. You know what I mean? Like when you hear
Those are
names like
both
that.
two old school players too,
Too
right?
old. Yeah.
That's like a 2011, 2012 match right
For
there.
real. So yeah, that brings me back to like StarCraft Survivor days. So that's it's pretty
Oh,
funny to even think about that. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one for sure. Don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back. More games, more content, more casting, and more coverage of the Kings of the North. So yeah, if you guys have been enjoying it, definitely give that ES Champ channel a follow. Do it now.
mhm.
You are watching it right here, unless you're watching it from a host from somebody else. But yeah, definitely give it a follow there and participate in the chat, hang out with your StarCraft homies, and we'll be here to continue to bring the games to you. So I say until we meet again, Fair Dragon, I had a fun time. How about yourself, man?
Oh, I had a fantastic time and couldn't have said it better myself. Of course, if you want to check out channel, following is the best way to know when Kings of the North is happening. Usually it's going to be Tuesday and Thursdays, I
Hmm.
believe, but
But
this
because
week
of
and last week, this week
Montreal,
and last week were a little bit weird just scheduling wise. Montreal this week, and I guess we are getting started last week, but we had some scheduling conflict. Starting next week, it should be Tuesdays and Thursdays every week for the entire round robin. So be sure to check that out, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.